All right,
Yeah.
sorry, what are you looking at?
Okay, on Sunday, I did a monologue about the skyrocketing price of the average used car in the United States, some $28,000, nearly $50,000 for a new one. In it, I mentioned that the part of the problem that we have right now is inflation and financialization taking their toll on the lower end of the car market, and then large subsidies that exist for electric vehicles, which still remain prohibitively expensive for most consumers. However, one of the upsides, I suppose, in a big, massive rise in the price of a new car is a new Tesla Model 3, which is priced around $47,000, $48,000, which is pretty average next up to any other car. EV proponents are actually pointing to this as the future, where an entry-level EV is priced right alongside an average new car. Now, this is obviously true, but I think it's true for the wrong reason, that the overall price of cars is still way too high. Furthermore, I want to take a time today to again just warn about where these price drops are coming from, and the overwhelming amount of drop in EV price is coming from economies of scale. That's good if economies of scale exist in your country, but already you know the answer. We own less of the EV supply chain in the West and in North America than we do of normal cars. I have consistently tried to emphasize a dual narrative. I love electric cars and I believe that they could be the future with the right government policy, but that our current government policy is setting us up for indentured servitude to China for our dominant mode of transportation and without the adequate energy supply to power them. So go ahead and take a look at this graphic. This shows you the percent of minerals that are coming from China. I feel especially vindicated now by the mainstream media because they're beginning to catch up and take notice. Look at this graphic. It shows in stark detail how much an electric vehicle battery is coming almost entirely from China or Chinese-controlled entities. Cobalt mining, for example, is 41% controlled by China. Refining capacity is 73% directly in China. Anodes of EV batteries are 92%, 70% of cathodes, 60% of battery cells, 54% of all electric cars. China, China, China. You could just say, yeah, but we'll just build our own facilities here. I wish it was that easy. It takes years to build the refining and processing facilities required to produce an EV battery, and even if we did that, we still don't have the staff or the technical know-how on how to run them. Then, if we did it, you may not like how much energy and how much filthy refining and processing abilities look like. This is the dirty secret of almost all life in the West. All of these processes, refining minerals, building solar panels, they are done in China to shield our population from reality of how filthy the byproduct is. Then we install it here and we pretend we're green because we ignore the labor and environmental impact of what it really looks like. China has a nearly 2-decade head start in setting up these processes and has achieved massive economy of scale, supply, and of course has ensnared our largest companies to just simply leave battery production up to them. We are rapidly approaching a moment where if you buy an electric vehicle anywhere outside of the United States, it is almost certainly just straight up made in China. In fact, just yesterday, Tesla confirmed its very first Shanghai-made Teslas are now being imported even to North America and will be sold in Canada. Both of those models for sale in Canada qualify for a government tax credit. Already, Tesla Shanghai makes up 50% of global production for the entire company. In fact, Chinese records tell us that Tesla has exported some 133,000 cars just this year out of Shanghai. The only thing keeping Elon and Tesla from making all cars there are provisions in US law that require our EVs to be US made or at least somewhat US made. Of course, there's a trade-off. It makes ours more expensive, and it shows the obvious cave of all time that we know is coming a decade from now from a Democratic or Republican president who will just say, cost is too high for our EVs. We should drop Made in America provisions at the behest of the car companies. I can assure you that is probably what's going to happen because it's exactly what happened to US automakers in the 1970s when Asian competition came in. Cost is always king in America, and it should be, especially though for them, profits for big corporations are in play for the politicians. The only way to solve any of this is to turn the clock back and start building factories. The other way is to try our best to stave off corporate pressure in the next 20 years while we catch up to where China is right now. Unfortunately, things are not looking good for that. The Biden administration has taken baby steps at best when it comes to EV supply efforts. They recently signed an effort with the G7 in Australia where they acknowledge it is a problem that China controls the entire mineral supply chain. But they have not done anything else about it. They have signed agreements to come to a future agreement. It's just not going to cut it. I've said it before, you need a Manhattan Project level of scale and effort to catch up to China just on EV minerals and supply chains. Then we need a separate Manhattan Project to develop cheap and abundant renewable power to said cars once they are on the road. If you do not do both simultaneously, we will give the US consumer the worst deal in the long run. You will have high prices, or you will leave yourselves incredibly vulnerable. So, I mean, I think we keep taking our eye off the ball.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.